So last Thursday was the vernal equinox. And in the northern hemisphere, we call it the spring equinox. Now, the equinox happens twice a year, and it's the day, our Earth is on a tilt. So the equinox is the day when the sun shines directly over the equator. And it's also the day, if you think about it, when the North Pole and the South Pole are getting sunshine at the same time. It only happens twice a year at the equinoxes. And because the day and the night is roughly equal at this point in time, in the northern hemisphere now, our days are going to begin to get longer. And so it's a wonderful time for new beginnings. And tradition says it's a time of new birth. In fact, we call it the first of spring up here because we know that as the days get longer, the plants are going to grow and thrive. So it's the time when the gardeners are getting out their gardening tools and they're getting their seeds ready to plant and to put everything into the ground. Well, I was thinking about this equinox and I thought, oh my gosh, how sometimes you know something you've thought about it all your life maybe, and then all of a sudden it just hits you in a new way, and it just really hit me this time that because of the tilt that the earth is on, these seasons naturally come. That there is such intention behind the earth being on a tilt instead of just rotating straight up and down. It allows us to have the seasons, the spring, the growing time, the summer with the abundance, the fall when things go fallow, and then the winter when it's time for everything to rejuvenate and renew. So what a wonderful way. And this is by divine design that things are like that. It means that plants grow. And we have the seasons to make it perfect for them to grow. And that was without any doing on our part, right? It's just it's the way the creation has occurred to make things happen here on earth. And I was just in such awe of it. Um, thank goodness I wasn't in charge. I might have just made the earth turn around like that. So, um, but of course, it's this presence, this universal, all-knowing presence that has all things working for our good, even those things we don't even think about, like the seasons. So here we are at the beginning of spring. And the farmers are getting the plants in the ground, gardeners are getting their plants in the ground. So I thought it would be a good time for us to talk about planting our intentions, because we also can be at a time of newness, a time when we want something new in our lives. And so, of course, we're a new thought, and a lot of times we think in terms of the metaphysics of something. So I'm going to talk about the metaphysics, things, thoughts held in mind produce after their own kind. I'm going to talk about that. And I thought it would be nice, kind of fun, to also talk about not only the metaphysical, which is above the physical, but also the physical. And then a third way we're going to look at things is the scientific view. So let's go ahead and start with the metaphysics. We're most familiar with that one. Now, Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind says, we are so one with the whole that what is true of it is also true of us. We are one with unmanifest substance, whose business it is to forever take form, and we're one with the law, which gives form. So it's talking about us being creator, that we have within us that creative essence. God, the presence, has created all of this out of its own being. So we have the very characteristics of this ability to create. And this is what takes us from that first level of consciousness, which is, a victim consciousness. Things are always happening in the outer world takes us from that to the second level of consciousness, which is, oh, I have something to do about how my life looks. I can take responsibility. I can actually create something. And of course, we know how it works is that we first have some kind of desire, and then we formulate that into a thought, into an intention, and we speak the word, right? We plant the word into the law. We plant our intentions, and the law, of course, responds with giving us what it is that we've planted. So it gathers substance together, and voila, manifestation occurs. And it starts with the intention and the desire and the intention and planting the intention. See, the universe is brimming with potentiality, brimming with it, just waiting for an intention to be planted so that it can create, so that it can supply, so that it can grow, so that it can expand. Holmes tells us what we concentrate then is attention. This is done through intention and the willingness to hold thought centered until the form appears. So, in metaphysics, the thought is really key. Well, they call it new thought, right? Thought. So, looking at this planting of intentions, looking at this from a physical point of view, we're going to have to bring in energy and the movement of energy and vibration. Now, on a physical level, when I was thinking about this movement of energy, vibration, I happened to recall a book called Getting into the Vortex by Esther and Jerry Hicks. Esther is able um, to relay information from a group of entities known as Abraham. And so this is what what she had in the book. Unless you are in a state of alignment with the love that source flows to you, it is as if it is not really there, when in fact, it is always there. It's not enough to be loved by another. You must be a vibrational match to the love in order to know the experience of being loved. Resistance is the only thing that can hinder or mute your natural state of love and appreciation and well-being. In the absence of resistant thought, your vibration returns to its natural state of power and clarity and love. Your true nature of resilience and replenishment and vitality and eagerness and joy and fun returns. See, the natural state of our vibration is one of love, is one of joy. And this vibration, it naturally attracts to it an abundance of things that we desire. Now, when we talk about vibration, we're talking about the law of attraction. We've all heard about that. And of course, what that says is that on an energetic level, whatever I'm vibrating at is going to determine what comes into my experience. And if I desire to have something out here, then I need to be vibrating at the same level so that it can come into my experience. Okay. And if I am not vibrating at that, I won't get it. Now, sometimes by sheer force of will, we pull that thing into our into our experience. But if we're not vibrating at the same level, it will leave. It won't be able to stay because it's not compatible with the vibration. So if I want to have a good relationship, then I need to be vibrating at a rate of love and respect and honoring. I can't be vibrating at a rate of judgment and criticism and being so self-centered that I don't have the capacity to care for another individual. See, those vibrations they're not compatible. They're not compatible. So, on an energetic level, we need to be vibrating at the rate of what we have as our intention. Now, another thing, um, on the scientific level, okay, we did the level of energy. On the scientific level, we often have to go beyond the natural laws into the quantum realm. And that's because the natural laws work basically on the physical level, on the things of the in the third dimension, whereas the quantum realm, the cosmic laws, are not limited by anything in the physical dimension. So on the physical plane, you may think, okay, I want something to occur in my life. So, okay, I have to go to step A. And then after that, I go to step B. And after that, I go to step C. It's linear, the natural laws, physical laws. But in the quantum realm, cosmic laws are not linear. You can jump from this to the thing you desire. And so in the quantum realm, we we may think, well, okay, how does that happen? Well, there's something that's called a photon in the quantum realm. It's a tiniest little packet of energy, tiny, tiny. And where these photons gather, there is more energy for something appearing. There's more energy for something to coalesce there, to come together, to appear. It's called photon density. And science has discovered that our attention on something can create photon density. It can make the photons more dense in congregate together. So if what I'm paying my attention to, if what I'm looking at all the time is something that I don't want, unfortunately, I'm going to get what I don't want. So, where we place our attention is important. So, if I do want a fulfilling relationship, I want to place my attention on those relationship affirming qualities, place my attention on perhaps how I might serve instead of how I might be served, on sharing. That's where I would place my attention. So we've got these three ways, these metaphysical, the physical, and the scientific. All all ways that the planting of the intention makes a difference. So now we get to the tools, right? What we're going to use to help us plant our intentions and manifest them. And of course, I like acronyms, and I do have one for today. It is tea, not like iced tea that you drink, but like compost tea that you would pour on a plant in order to help it fertilize and grow. Okay, so we're going to put compost on our intentions here. Compost tea, TEA. The T stands for thought. Thought. Now, when we hold a thought, like Ernest Holmes said, when we hold that thought, it makes a difference what thought we're holding. And so when we're setting our intention, when we're deciding what thought we want to have clarity about that. We want to be clear. For instance, if I'm wanting more prosperity in my life, I could hold a thought that says, "Oh, I just want a lot of money." Or I could hold a thought that says, I just want to be comfortable and know that I have enough for whatever it is that I need to do. You see, there's a difference between that. There's a difference. And we want to get clarity on what we really want because there's some people that have a lot of money that do not have a sense of comfort and a sense of, oh, I have enough. I have enough. So the first thing we want to do is get clear on what thought we want to hold. Long ago, we received instructions on some of this. We were taught how to pray, right? Pray as if the thing that you desire is already here. And so, of course, that's how we pray in Centers for Spiritual Living, knowing that it's already present. Well, when we hold the thought we have, we want to hold it that way as well. We want to be clear and be positive about it, not continually doubting ourselves, doubting that, oh, I'd like to have this, but oh, I don't know if maybe it's too big. What, too big for God? I don't think so. So we want to be clear and we want to hold the thought in a positive way, knowing that, of course, it is ours to have without doubt. It's really, knowing that the presence is only desire for us is to express through us in multiple ways, in ways that only we can come up with a desire. So, don't for a minute doubt that your desire is not yours to have. So, thought. It's about clarity and it's about knowing. The E in T, in our compost T, stands for energy. And we've talked already about energy and motion, about vibration. Well, the easiest way to get into the vibration of what we want is to get the feeling of that we have that thing already, that it's already part of our life. To get into that feeling, the feeling tone of it. In New Thought, early on, there was just a lot of stuff about, oh, it's all about thought, it's all about thought. And then they kind of discovered, oh, but if we add feeling to this, there's more power behind it. And there is. So we want to vibrate this with feeling. We want to vibrate at this level of our intention means we have to get that feeling of we already have it. And this is where what we did in the first step with the thought by clarifying what it is we want to have, that's going to be so helpful. Because, for instance, if it's abundance, instead of just feeling ourselves laying in a whole bed of money, we're going to have that feeling of, oh, all of my needs are met. I'm I'm cared for. Things are taken care of in that respect. See, we want to feel that. That's how we vibrate at the same level as the thing that we desire. Now, another thing about energy is that we don't just, a vibration actually can exist in, uh, in certain places in our body and not in others. But if we can vibrate our whole body with that awareness, with that intention, with that feeling, if we can get it throughout our whole body, we are a much larger attractor field, if you can say that. We're building photon density throughout the entire body for this thing to manifest. It's physics, quantum physics. So, in doing that, the breath is important. And Abraham says this: there's nothing about your physical awareness that connects you more to the non physical aspect of your being than that of your breathing. Many assume that the process of breathing is only about your physical nature, but that is not the case. The process of breathing is much more than an essential function of your physical body. Indeed, it is the flowing of spirit to you and through you. Breath. Now, I talk a lot about the breath being spirit in the body, the breath being the way that we get the energy to flowing. And it's the way to unblock things that have been blocked and the way to build circuits in places where there just connections haven't been made. But doing the belly breathing, the central channel breathing that we've talked about, these kind of breaths can help our energy vibration throughout the entire body. I mean, think about it. If you want to have vital health, for instance, if you're just kind of thinking vital health here and then maybe thinking about a vibration, that's one level of vibration. But if you can feel your whole body, if you can feel it, not think it, but feel it vibrating with this life force, with this vibrant health, it's going to be much more potent, much more potent. So the E in T, the energy, is that we have to feel it, the vibration, to be an energetic match and do it with the whole body. Okay, that brings us to the A. Well, once we've established the thought, we've discerned what that is, we feel that, we're vibrating at it. Then the A is about attention. It's about attention, keeping our attention on the thing that we've planted, the thing that we've desired. Um, and this is where also we have to align with cosmic law. The cosmic law that says where we place our attention is where photons are going to gather, the photon density. So that's our work, is keeping our attention on the thing we desire, is not putting our attention on its opposite. Like for instance, if we want to lose weight, we don't put our attention on how much weight we've gained. We put our attention on, oh, this is how I look and feel with a thin body, perhaps. We put our attention on what it is that we desire. And we don't put our attention on the wish to have it that way or the wanting, because those two things emphasize what's not there. And so if our attention is on that, it's going to get us more of what's not there. So we place our attention on the thought we've planted, that we've planted with positive faith, with confidence, with clarity. We keep our attention on it with a singular focus. So the thought, getting clarity and holding the thought, the E, the energy, feeling the vibration with the whole body, the A, keeping our attention focused on it. You know, the world we live in, this 3D world, is simply a part of the universe, the part of this, the manifest body of God. And God, universal life, divine intelligence that created it all, it's made of love. That is why expansion goes on. It's an expression of love to express itself in new and more wondrous ways. So really, for us, we want to stand in that knowing that whatever our desire is, it's been put in our heart for us, and that this presence of love is just waiting. It's waiting to respond to our request, to our planting of our intention. And as soon as we say yes, the universe is going to rush in to fulfill that request. It can't not. So let's go into our prayer treatment. I sit in this place of gratitude, being so grateful for life itself, so grateful for the seasons and the beautiful way that this earth has been so intentionally, purposefully, lovingly placed in the orbit around our sun, our beautiful central sun. I'm just so grateful for the Austin Center for Spiritual Living and the opportunity we have on Sundays and other days to gather together to talk and to feel and to get into alignment with those things that we hold as true. I know that this is simply it's a body of God gathering, that this whole presence, this universal presence, everywhere present, this God essence is created all out of itself, and therefore we're made of it. Everything is made of it, and we have that ability to speak our word, plant our intention. And so this morning we do just that. I speak the word that everyone here today or listening later, that we all come to a higher realization of the love that we are, that we know that within us there is this creative impulse that is always for us, that in everything that we walk into, our destiny is assured, that is Creator moving through the world, that we have all that we need. We've been provided with everything that we could possibly need in order to fulfill our purpose, to manifest exactly what it is that we came to do. I know this to be the truth. And so we take a deep breath in the belly, feeling that sense of wholeness, of everything being in its place, everything being right, everything, the pure potentiality being there for us, each of us. In such gratitude, I release this into that law that always says yes. And so it is. Amen.